The male can remember cherish. The male can remember honor, love, and then you say, what else? And they say, till death do us part. Now, when you ask the female, you say, do you remember the vows? She says, yes. You say, well, what do you remember? She says, obey. You say, what about it? She said, well, he's obeying. And he better obey. And that is how you become the boss. Because you get the male to obey. He's got to obey. He's got to obey.
That's right. And this pretty much sums up the relationships between black men and black women. A lot of black women come to me trying to tell me my opinions are wrong because they themselves have a black boyfriend or black husband. But the fact is, black male and female relationships are only successful if the black man is submissive to the black woman. Because you see, after black women joined white feminists and joined the system and became the only parent in the majority of black homes, they ushered in a whole new phase of mental destruction of black males and created a whole different type of black male. A whole generation of new black men was being born and created in that home alone with black women. Black women who had always hated themselves and had hatred for what they are and hatred for blackness. Now they're all alone to raise and create a whole different type of black men. It was a similar type of mental destruction imposed on newly arrived Africans who were turned into slaves. Each generation after the first generation of enslaved Africans became more and more detached from their African roots. And today, most African names, for example, sound odd to most of us. Most of us even mock the very sound of African names. We got nothing but condemnation for African religions, African cultures and clothing, etc. But we seem captivated by European countries and cultures. You ask most black people where they would like to travel to, they'll tell you France, right? They'll tell you Germany, Italy, and so forth. They want to eat Italian food and speak Italian and French. Well, when black women became the only parent in the majority of black homes, they removed manhood from black males in the same way slave masters removed our names, cultures, religions, etc. And now black men rebel against all thought processes that are related to manhood, and we gravitate towards the thought processes related to being a broken slave. Only in this case, a broken slave to black females rather than white male slave masters. Virtually all black men who are in a relationship with a black woman are slaves to those black women. The current state of black men, simply put, is in critical condition. The vast majority of black men are unable to understand why they are the way that they are. They grow up as victims to various traumatic situations. And when they grow up, they accept the traumatized version of themselves as being their real selves. And they're usually unaware that they've been conditioned and created by traumatic situations. And today, most black men are so destroyed that it does not even matter if they're in the home raising their children. We hear a lot of people talking about how black men need to raise their kids and to be there for them, to create real men. Well, that won't help, because of all the generations that black men have been detached from manhood. Black men themselves are a product of black women's campaign of destructive parenting, which involved at its root and core the hatred of blackness itself. You have effeminate black men trying to raise boys into men. You have black men trying to redefine manhood because black women refused to incorporate the influence of black manhood into their homes decade after decade after decade. You have black men who relate to their black girlfriends or who relate to their black wives the same way they related to their abusive mothers. They're submissive to those black girlfriends and black wives. They're weak. They refuse to put their foot down and be the authority figure because they know black women will throw a conniption fit. And those black men will fold under pressure, just like they folded to their abusive black mothers when they were children. They'll basically revert back to being that same abused black boy that they were when they were living with their mother. Black women have retarded black men's development. And most black men who are with black women commit to those black women at the expense of being an authority figure, at the expense of being a real man. Because those black men understand that they have to be the same submissive little effeminate boy that they were in relation to their abusive black mothers in order to stay in a relationship with these black women. And they do it all to get some pussy. And this is why I encourage black men to date other women. Other women will encourage black men to be the authority figure. They will make black men feel like men. And when black men feel like men, they'll start acting like men. And real black manhood can be restored at that point. It will not be restored if they are with black women. Because black women, simply put, have been too destroyed. Black men who have a sharp mind, black men who are mentally tough, who have restored their manhood to a great degree, they always notice how black women are intimidated by them. As soon as black women sense that a black man has restored his manhood to a significant degree, they'll feel threatened by those black men. They'll feel challenged and uncomfortable being around them because they know those black men can see them for exactly what they are. They understand that they cannot control those black men. They can't bully those black men. They can't run over those black men. They cannot intimidate those black men with their conniption fits. And black women are only comfortable with black men who demonstrate a stark and overt submissive mentality to the demands of black women. They're only willing to deal with black men who are just as weak-minded and obedient as good slaves were to their white male slave masters. And it is no coincidence that white racist men are the exact same way. When they encounter a sharp-minded black man and they sense that those black men have restored black manhood to a significant degree, they become intimidated, threatened, and uncomfortable around those black men. And the reason black women and white males have an identical reaction to strong-minded black men is because black women are a direct offspring of white racism, I've said this plenty of times. All it takes is for you to open your eyes and see it. And all for the sake of some pussy. Black men will allow themselves to be degraded by black women, dominated by black women, emasculated, and kept in a childlike existence. They're trained to only accept a weak, broken black boy because they will not even entertain the idea of not being the one who wears the pants in the relationship. So I'm not impressed by black women telling me about having a black boyfriend or black husband, because I know damn well that he is soft, submissive, abused, and broken, and he'll likely end up getting dumped and forced to pay child support, possibly for kids that are not even his. Stay tuned.